official this week. Did he go through the full training today, and is he available?
No, he went through stuff yesterday, that we were happy about. We worked him a little bit on the side, but we also worked him with the team, and had absolutely no setbacks and got through everything today, so he's fine.
It seems like Chad's performances have been a lot better when he doesn't have to sit on a plane ride. Is that just random, or is there something to that, you think?
I don't know. I got to look at that. I haven't really looked at that, so that's an interesting observation. I think all the guys, when you're on plane rides and you're connecting, and sometimes we get good seats, sometimes we don't get good seats, sometimes we're stuck in middle seats. And it's not ideal. And anybody who's traveled a lot, just imagine traveling and then you got to deliver a peak performance. So it's difficult not only on Chad, it's difficult on all the guys.
Have you noticed any correlation for a home game after a road trip? I realize y'all came back all the time, but is it a dangerous spot in any sort of way?
The danger is sometimes maybe you relax a little bit, I think is always a danger. I just think we got to remember what sparked our performance in Vancouver, what helped us in our performance in New York, and know what we did well, on the road, because those are tenets of doing well at home as well.
Any updates on Oba?
Same. Nothing's changed.
And he's the only out guy as far as you know?
Yeah. Correa's still questionable, although he went through full training pretty much yesterday and today, so he's making his way back right now.
Thoughts on the Open Cup draw yesterday?
Interesting. I mean, obviously, because of 17 MLS teams, two MLS teams have to play each other in that round. But the only thing that's sad for me, I'll probably get in trouble with U.S. soccer again, but the only thing that's sad for me is, one of the great things about like the FA Cup and some of the cups even in other countries is you can end up with a derby as the final game. You can have a Man City play Man United as a final game. You could have an Arsenal play against Tottenham as a final game. You could have Liverpool, play against Man United as a final game. The thing is, because of the regionalization of the draw in U.S. soccer, you will never have a Portland-Seattle final. You will never have a New York City Red Bull final. You will never have a Dallas-Houston final. And I think that's a little sad. It's disappointing. I think it takes away from the tournament. I think it takes away from the quality of the tournament. I mean, just imagine if you had a Seattle-Portland final in front of 60,000, or just imagine if you had a Dallas-Houston final, or you had a New York City Red Bull final. I think that would really draw a lot of attention to the competition and so forth. So hopefully, at some point, they can get away from the regionalization so that that can happen. And I think the Cascadia fans, get shorted because that possibility right now under the present system does not exist. And with there being more teams out of the amateur divisions on the East Coast, it's always going to be that we're going to end up playing Portland either in the round of 32 or the round of 16 if we're both there. And that's going to be unavoidable.
Would you like to see a full, random round of 32 draw?
I would like to see a random draw at the end of each round. I'd like to see a round completed, and then there's a random draw, irrespective of where you're from. Just a random draw, and it could end up meaning MLS against MLS. I mean, I remember being in England once when I was scouting, when I was in between things, and just being, I remember being at a little place called Worcester, which, I think they have a sauce from there, Worcester sauce. Being a little place from Worcester, and they had beaten Bournemouth in a cup game, which was a little bit of an upset. And then the draw comes out that night, and they find out that they're playing Chelsea. I mean, the euphoria was fantastic, and just there, they were looking forward to that. Or just recently this year with Cambridge United, the team that we know some people that are involved with, and they end up playing against Man United, but that doesn't really happen. If you're PSA or Ventura Fusion, well, you probably have a chance of playing LA, but you're never going to really play in New York City. That's not going to ever happen for you, or New York City's not going to come to your place. And I'd like to see us take the event to another level. And I know some coaches will disagree with me, even MLS coaches will disagree, but I'd like to see us take the event to another level and have a draw after each round. So
just to follow up on that, it sounds like, because we've talked about the there's a certain unfairness of the
the
West Coast teams. But it sounds like you're not so much worried about potentially traveling or potentially playing tougher teams. You just want it to be everyone is in the same boat. Everyone has to faces the same
from
challenges.
a coaching standpoint, if you end up drawing and we would, like the one year they made us play in Tampa, yeah, that's not ideal. That's difficult, but it's a draw. It's the luck of the draw. You can't say, well, here's what happened. Right now it's okay. It's going to be regional, so you sort of have an idea who you're going to play, and I think it limits the potential opportunity. I used to have an assistant coach. He used to say, you got to dare to be brilliant. You can't do something brilliant unless you dare to be brilliant. Well, you're not going to have an Open Cup that becomes really meaningful unless you dare to make it meaningful. And right now, by keeping it on a regional basis, yeah, it satisfies some people. I don't have to travel a lot. We don't want to spend a lot of money because they don't give a lot of money for travel. It's additional cost. I know clubs don't want to do that, so there's a lot of reasons for CEOs that are going to say to me, hey, that's stupid, Ziggy, and for coaches to say that's stupid, Ziggy. But at the end of the day, I think over a 4 or 5 year period of doing that, I think the Cup will become more meaningful and will become a higher level of competition. You'll get more people out to watch it, and you'll have more interest. But you got to take that chance. I might be wrong. It might not work, but it ain't working the way it's going now. And it doesn't draw enough interest the way it's going now, so certainly changing it wouldn't make it any worse.